Hey guys, General Zero, how you doing? I hope all is well in YouTube land. Really? Whatever part of the world, there we go. Whatever part of the world that you are in. In my part of the world, I'm hanging out with, these are like my heroes, man. This is like Captain America and Batman at my house right now. Just awesome. These guys really don't need any introduction. And if you don't know who they are, then shame on you. But this Steve Douglas, the Catfish dude, Chris Souders, these guys, I have learned a lot about catfishing and just fishing in general from these two guys' channels. I will leave a link to their channels in the description box. Steve Douglas is one of the pioneers of the whole catfishing industry. He owns Monster Rod Holders Company. He just does all kinds of stuff for the catfish industry. And of course, Chris is the Cabela's King Cat champion, points champion, angler of the year, 2 times in a row, soon to be 3. Soon to be 3, and then 4 and 5 until he retires because, well, he's Chris Souders. It just is what it is. Write him the check, Cabela's, because he's going to earn it. So we figured we just kind of
don't jinx it.
We figured just hang out for a little bit, and I've noticed that there's some questions that dudes have wanted to ask, but nobody has asked. So we're going to ask some questions and just kind of see how everybody got started in this whole fishing industry thing. So, Steve, let's start with you. Why catfishing? Why did you? I know you used to fish bass a lot when you were younger, dude. Mm-hmm. What got you into targeting big catfish?
Well, it comes a time in your fishing career, I guess, like say I was into bass fishing for years and years, but when you back your boat down the ramp and you cringe that you just don't want to get in that boat and go fishing, it's time for a change. And I think that's what I did. I've always catfished, but it wasn't until an old buddy of mine that was a bass fisherman that kind of got me in bass fishing, started catfishing, and they put me on my first 20-pounder in Cumberland River in Cumberland City, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And that 20-pounder hooked me. But then I thought that was a huge fish. I didn't know that there was bigger fish out there. And I just went on and studied the catfishing, and I found there's bigger fish out there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And they're a lot more fun. It's more. It's a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. Catfishing is a lot of work. Chris will probably tell you. The bait chasing is the worst part.
Yeah.
But when you can go catch a 60, 70-pound catfish, it's real well worth it.
Yeah, I agree with that. It is a good time. It's a lot of work. What about you, Chris? How did you get into catfishing in general, especially get into where you wanted to run and become a professional tournament angler? How do you make that decision?
Well, I used to race motocross, and I got too fat, too old, couldn't hang with them young guys, and but still needed something, a competitive need, to kind of fuel that competitiveness. And my old partner, Red, we raced motocross together and done a lot of that, but he said, why don't we go catfishing? And of course we fished as kids, growing up with my grandpa and my dad and everything, and so we took Dad's little 17-foot bass tracker on the Little Sandy River one night. It had a 9.9 horse motor on it, and all we caught was 2-3 pound channel cats and little tiny flatheads. But we had a blast. We was the only ones out there, and didn't see nobody the rest of the night. And we went back the next day, and we started fishing again. So I was going to hit the big river, hit the high river right there in Greenock. And I remember it like it was yesterday. Went out of the Little Sandy, started upriver, and here come a barge. And I never thought nothing about it. And we're cruising up the high river at a whopping 3 mile an hour. With that 9.9, and that barge passes us. And we decided right then we was going to get a bigger boat. And Red had this big idea we was going to fish tournaments. And so we joined a High Hills Catfish Club and got us a bigger boat. And here we are now.
You did well, and you're still doing well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's awesome. I've catfished a lot when I was a younger dude. I didn't fish a lot whenever my family was still real young, and after my wife first got sick, I didn't have the time. I couldn't get away. But I remember the first time that I had a rod on the bank just get smashed. A 30 or a 40 pound blue cat just make that thing bend, and you catch it just in time before it hits the river. And I was hooked. I was like, man, I love it. I love it when my pole bends. So, how did you make an industry out of it, Steve? How did you get into making rod holders? What decided? At some point, you had to say, you know what? I'm making my own damn rod holder. This one either isn't working out, or I've got a better idea. What was it that made you decide to get into this as an industry?
Well, I never really did. It wasn't planned on anything. I went fishing. I had the bug, like most of you guys get when you first start.
Yeah.
And one December, I was fishing a little local tournament, and one of the biggest hits I ever seen. In my mind, it was a 100-pound fish, but it could have been a 30-pound fish in 4-mile-an-hour current.
Yeah.
But I watched my pole leave my boat and go between my buddy's legs back there, and right out the back of the boat, and keep skimming the water. Of course, we took our anchor and tried to drag it and throw lines out there to try to snag it, but I was using plastic rod holders back then, and I like the plastic ones. I like that you could turn them 360 degrees.
Right.
So my first attempt was to build a base that I could put a metal rod holder on that would get my angles. And I called around trying to find people that would sell me rod holders that I could sell with my base. That's all I wanted is the base. Right. And nobody'd sell me rod holders that I like, so I started making my own. And then I show up at a tournament with red and black tips, or black rod holder with red tips. People liked them, wanted to know where I got them at. So I started selling them. Here we are about 8 years later, $500,000 a year business. So.
Well, that's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
You just have an idea and figure out how to make it work. And
I think a lot of it too, as far as my sales goes, and because of YouTube. I've been on YouTube since it started, and people see me using these things.
Right.
YouTube's been a great tool for selling rod holders.
Yep. Well, you catch big fish and make good videos. And like Chris, you guys are you're good fishermen and you're good educators. You're good at explaining this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm doing it, this is why I'm going to do it, and then at the end you have big fish as a result of this is what I did. And for dudes like me who was trying to refresh my memory and learning new techniques and all that kind of stuff, to see it and watch it and be able to make it all click is just, it's like, they call it YouTube University for a reason. It's just awesome. And I'm still I can't believe, these guys are sitting at this is my table in my house, and here they sit. Can you believe it? That's the reason I love YouTube right there, man.
And for all you YouTubers out there that watch my channel, I want to say thank you to my wife, which is sitting right over there, just right off camera. She's the one that makes me look good. So,
yeah, I think all of us. I remember you said several times to his wife, Jenny, thank you, because if it wasn't for the women, we wouldn't be able to do what it is that we do.
That's right.
I've watched Lisa hang off the side of a boat in 20-degree weather to get that shot, and she always gets complimented on her shots, so she does really well. I'd love for her to come over here and be on video, but Mama says,
she's shaking her head no. Well, like I said, I do that too. I thank my kids, and I thank Miss Mary and everybody that's here to help take care of the home place while I'm out. You mentioned chasing bait. I chase bait a lot. I have a little bait company, and we had talked about it at one point, because there's been times 1:30 in the morning, 20 degrees below zero, and most dudes are at home snuggled up in their warm, comfy bed, and we're on the riverbank chasing bait.
Yeah.
Or 4 o'clock in the morning is when I got, last year he was fishing Ohio, Monsters on the Ohio tournament, and he said, I want to get a couple of buffalo fillets. I said, okay, I'll bring them to you. Well, I chased buffalo for a couple days. I could not get one caught. I couldn't catch one in a net. I couldn't come up with anything, anywhere. And it was like the day before I was supposed to bring it to him, I'm like, oh crap, this is Steve Douglas. I told him that I would do it, and I can't find a buffalo. So I'm standing out 4 o'clock in the morning with a spotlight on my head at a sewer discharge in the Ohio River. I'm standing there like waist deep in squat cobbler. Other people's squat cobbler, mind you, not mine. Right? I'm just like, oh my God. I threw my cast net and caught the buffalo, and I did it because I said I would do it. But yeah, that was well earned, that one there. But chasing bait is a lot of time. Well, you coming up next week. Chris has a tournament on Saturday, and when are you leaving? Tuesday, because you got to try to find bait, you got to try to find fish, you got to get your plan together. So at one point we talked about making a couple of series of videos this tournament season and call it like the glamorous life of the professional fisherman or something. Everybody loves to see the weigh-in, when we're standing there, you know, with big fish on our shoulders smiling, but they don't see the 4 or 5 days of no sleep and 1,000 miles and boat breakdowns. Oh man, so we might just do that on the fishing channel, my regular dude fishing channel. We might just make a few videos and show you exactly what it takes to go and fish a tournament, or what it takes to get the bait for a tournament. And it's like I said, it's sometimes me and my partner Bill, my fishing partner, we have literally done a 23-hour grind trying to catch bait for the guys who had to have bait for a tournament or something last summer. It was like 90 degrees. And I'm on the riverbank frying like a piece of chicken, man. It's just so hot. Oh man! But you know what? I love it. I love it. I would much rather earn at doing something that I really love as to try to go punch clock with somebody, you know, someplace else. So, and it's because of guys like these who teach people you can do this and earn a living at it and make things your own and have a great time in the meantime. They're just awesome dudes, man. They're both just awesome dudes.
Just have fun with it. Both of us are competitive guys, but I've learned in my older years to have fun with it and not be so serious about it. And
tell him that. Have you seen him like the day before a tournament? The week before a tournament, Chris is like, hey, how you doing? The day before a tournament, got away. Business. Serious business.
You do need to learn to have fun with it, and I've kind of forgotten that. You know, I have, and you know, now this is fun. This is great, but this should be what it is all the time. You know, I mean, you can't take it too serious, and when it gets to that point, you know, it becomes more of a job than it is fun.
Well, and I've noticed too, when I'm under pressure, and Lisa can tell you this too, when I'm under pressure to perform, I don't perform. But if I go out there just to have some fun and it's not, whatever.
Yeah.
I do better.
Yep, when you're relaxed. Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
What would be, so speaking of just like fun, regular fun fishing, if you had a chance to make one fishing trip anywhere in the world, chasing any species of fish, what would be your dream one-time fishing trip?
I told you the other day, I'd be embarrassed to say, but I love crappie fishing a lot. I like dipping that minnow in them trees and feeling that, watching that bobber go down a little bit. Catch me some big crappie, I'm good.
Well, all right then.
Yep.
The guy who catches giant catfish wants to go catch crappie.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's why we love him, man. He thinks outside the box.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I love big old slab. I'm actually next week I'm going to go to Kentucky Lake chasing some big slab crappie.
Yep.
And I love it too. I can't say there's anything wrong with it. You catch the crappie the size of a bucket lid. That's a thing right there.
Yes,
man.
it is.
Where would Chris go?
Yeah. What would you do?
I've always wanted to catch a Wels catfish, and that's kind of like my dream thing, is to go over there just one time and spend, you know, however much time it takes to catch one of those things.
You talk about in Europe they have the Wels catfish, and them things are monsters.
Yeah, they get up past 200 pounds. I think.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to. I mean, they're strong. They put up a good old fight. Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking, you know, an hour's worth of fight.
Yeah.
You know.
But
they resemble a flathead, but they resemble an eel at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some dudes on YouTube catching some big old. I've seen a couple of guys went out and they noodled one, great big old Wels. And man, you guys are crazy. Their arms were all shredded up from the teeth and stuff. And like, that's a great time. I was like, pass. I've always wanted to go up to like the very northern part of Alaska and fish for Arctic char. I don't know why. I just think that'd be the coolest thing ever, man. I like cooler weather. And I like cold weather fish, char and halibut and stuff like that. I think that'd be my dream fish.
I wonder how they taste.
I don't know, but I would definitely find out.
I don't even know what char is.
It's I think they're in the salmon family. I think.
Salmon.
Tell us what it is, Arctic char. And in the comments below, tell us what y'all's dream fishing trip would be. If you guys got a really cool destination, I think it'd be fun to catch some of them big tunas too, man. Talk about a fight.
Oh, yeah.
Them things will wear your ass out quick.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't think I'd like that.
A 4-hour fight?
No, a 4-hour fight. I like something that's going to fight for just, you know, for a little bit and then go on. Something you can feel. I mean, I know you can feel that big tuna, but you can feel that big tuna.
Yeah.
You know, it's just constant. You don't feel that jumping and then splashing and stuff. I'm sure it's just constant pressure is all it is.
Can you imagine how sore your back would be after biting a big 300-pound tuna? Oh. That'd wear me out. I'm too old for that. I'm an old fat guy, man. That'd be too much work for me, having.
I mean, I've caught some big fish in the 80s and 90s, and they're not as fun as catching them in 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
Because they're like a log. A lot of times they're just swimming. They probably don't even know they're hooked.
Yeah.
They're just, and you're doing what you can. There's really no fight to it. Now, when you get to the boat, they start thrashing, which is all right. But
Yeah,
if you see an 80-pounder on the end line, by the time you get him up, then you forget about it, that he didn't fight much.
Yeah. Well, we'll cut it short there. We don't want to make this an extremely long and boring video. We just kind of wanted to introduce to my viewers a couple of my catfishing heroes, and they are my heroes. And I have learned so much. They have so much information and so much to share. And I really appreciate you guys very much taking the time to teach.
Thank you.
And taking the time to hang out. We're going to be doing our first angler hangout tomorrow in South Point at the Tackle Box. And so we're just kind of getting together, and I thought it'd be neat to just kind of sit around and get a little bit of insight from the real pros, man. And I really appreciate it. I think it was very informative. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Would you like to add anything?
Just have fun when you go out fishing, guys. Have fun.
Yeah, that's about the same. You know, just enjoy it. Do everything you can do. Remember conservation, CPR, and leave it better than what you've seen it.
Yep.
There you go.
You can't catch them all the time. So, like I say, as long as you go out and have fun, that's all it's all about.
That's what it's about.
Words of wisdom. Well, guys, Steve Douglas, Chris Souders, thank you very much. And I guess that's it for now. So we will talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys very much for watching. Y'all have a great rest of the day. God bless. The end. Buzz, the end.